How many people are you at the moment?
30. I can't remember if it's +1 or -1 or something like that.
It's a good amount. So previously, you and I chatted, and I also read that Lars mentioned in a previous podcast that Dreamdata is serving companies that are roughly in the 100 and 500 employees, and even up to 5,000.
Yeah, more like that now. We try to creep a little bit up market.
Could you tell me something about how different those kind of companies buy on the spectrum from 100 employees to 5,000?
I think there's a kind of a shift from when you're in the smaller S&B spectra. People, they care about whether your product integrates with the right data sources, and they care about if it's a good product. Once you move upwards, security starts to become more of a thing. Are you SOC 2 certified? How do you treat data? Is it a GDPR compliant way that you treat data? Can you guarantee that the data stays in the EU and not leave the EU? Are you using any illegal tracking technology like fingerprinting or stuff like that? No, we're not. But so like the bigger the companies, the more compliance and security is my feeling that you see. But hopefully the deal size will also be larger and more attractive. And sometimes they can actually make quicker decisions because what we're asking for our product is not crazy amounts for them.
Have you seen any kind of cutoff point where companies start actually paying more attention to security and compliance?
No, not like really, but yeah, above 500, I would say, is like my gut feeling about it. But it also depends on which industry is the company in. If they're in banking, medical, all sorts of fintech, they need to make sure that they don't lose their license. So they have to ask more questions to their sub-processors and vendors about how they do things.
And for these, let's say, two types of different customer journeys, what kind of role does your website play in that?
The way I look at marketing is that your website should be the center of all your activities. So it's very important in all instances. We run an inbound model. So it means that pretty much like above 90% of all deals created, deals won, go through the website. So it's extremely important for us.
So even the enterprise companies, they go through your website and sign up?
Yeah, that's how we go to market. We don't do any outbound right now. If you can call being active on LinkedIn an outbound method, we do that. But it's not like we have BDRs calling and chasing people that has not been asked to receive phone calls.
Have you seen any kind of differences in the types of companies that maybe book a demo and some companies that sign up for your freemium product?
Yeah, that we have seen for sure. The bigger companies tend to need a demo call or two before that they can go ahead and sign up. Whereas the smaller companies, they can use the free model where they just, let's just sign up, connect our data and see how it works. Whereas, as I said before, if you're bigger, you need to be careful about who you share your sensible data with. So they typically go through a round of calls before they connect their CRM or automation system.
It's an interesting point of perspective because you previously mentioned that you also have this PLG motion. So what I'm hearing is that PLG might be more suitable for smaller companies where they can connect their data sources directly into your products, and then bigger companies might not be able to fit in that PLG motion because they have to take care of the security and compliance things first before trying out the product.
I think it's definitely a discussion worth having, whether that's true or not. I think you can have enough. I think you can actually have enough security certificates on your website for PLG to work fine for large companies, but they would always know that they would need to see, okay, SOC 2, GDPR, where do they store data? So I think you do a really well-written, well-created security page, then they might be just fine by using a free model. Companies like Segment and High Touch, they do PLG just fine to enterprises as well. So there is a path for sure, but I think overall, as a general trend, I think larger enterprises do like to speak to somebody before they buy, but maybe it's also about where you are as a company. Like we're just 3-4 years old. I'm sure Microsoft has some PLG products that people trust just fine because the brand is so established that they don't have to question whether it can be trusted or not.
Have you segmented your own customer base? I saw a recent statistic published by you that the average sales cycle in the B2B market is around 192 days. And have you seen any difference in that when it comes to smaller companies and bigger companies?
Yeah, so now I'm trying to recall how our own Dreamdata account looks. I think it's something where the mid-size to large companies, their customer journey is actually the same length, though the large companies tend to have larger deal size. So that's quite interesting, which also indicates it should be possible to move up market, because if it takes the same time, but the deal size is larger, then that's attractive. And then the classical small, medium-sized businesses typically move quite fast.